Starting with Jungwon, you said, I want to change my situation to provoke myself. And I think the correct term here is I didn't want to be complacent. Do you know complacent? Complacent. Complacent means you are just too satisfied with where you are in life or your position in your job or anything like that, and so you are a little bit lazy about it, right? You just sit there, you settle down. But that's called complacent or complacency. So I didn't want to be complacent. Next, you said it's the evidence you are old. It makes me sad. So I would say I think maybe you were talking about nostalgia. Nostalgia is like you have that old feeling and you think back, right? Those old feelings. Nostalgia, sometimes nostalgia makes us feel old. So I think it would be a little bit easier to say, because I was feeling nostalgic, it means I'm getting old. Or she said, because I'm nostalgic, she says I'm getting old. Next, you said I was sad to hear, which, there's actually nothing wrong with to say, I was sad to hear it, but I wanted to suggest in that kind of situation, maybe you were a little brokenhearted, and so she broke your heart. Next, the website, the Facebook, has some duty to filter some fake news. Now, you can call Facebook a website, but we don't really refer to it as a website anymore, so maybe you can even just say Facebook without saying the website, because everybody knows Facebook. It has the reputation, but if you didn't have the reputation, I would mention it as the social media platform. That's what I think is a better description of it nowadays. The social media platform, Facebook, has you can say duty, but duty is something that like sounds like a military duty, and so the better word would probably be responsibility. Has some responsibility to filter fake news, or to filter some content. Next, Simone, you said it's faster. And then you said it's more exclusive than Facebook. Facebook is too open. In this sense, I would say Instagram is more refined than Facebook. Yeah, more refined. You're going to see too many information. Like I said earlier, it's too convoluted. Yeah, just way too convoluted. And they should not deploy AI. Whether the story is true or false, they should not deploy AI to discern, the same vocabulary word, or to decipher. Do you guys know decipher? DECIPHER. Decipher is what we call kind of like translating or trying to understand something. So when you see two languages that are unfamiliar to you and you're trying to read it, you're trying to decipher it. Or when you get a message from someone and they're not clear what they say to you, maybe they're trying to give you a hint, you're trying to decipher their message. So decipher. Liam, we met a couple of years ago at work. I can figure out the real things from the fake things by using books. I can distinguish what's. I don't think you can. You don't have to say real from fake. You can just say like one or the other. So I can distinguish what's real by using books. I can distinguish what's fake by using books, because we automatically know. So you don't have to say both. And I just try to reading one public journalist such as BBC. I try to keep up. Maybe I try to keep up with just one news source. A journalist is like just one person that's a reporter. So I just try to keep up with one news source or one source of media or one source of journalism, such as BBC. Suhyun, I wonder why people make the fake news. You don't need the. and yeah, that's fine. Okay, next, maybe we have a lot of trouble about that. A lot of times in Korea, it's kind of overused to say you make a lot of trouble and then to say about that. You don't really need to say about that because we know the topic. It's pretty specific what we're talking about. So you can just say maybe it troubles us quite often, or maybe it gives us a lot of trouble, and then you can just cut it off from there. We cannot judge which one is that. When you were talking about which one is fake or real, we cannot judge who is at fault. Yeah, who is at fault, meaning who to blame. And then people have to their own views on the matters of the news of the world. People have to independently consider, or people have to make a judgment, make a what's the word? An educated guess, or the right judgment, or use their own judgment. Next, Gumji. Designing is really my way. I think I would just change that completely to say I'm all about design. Yeah, I'm all about design. Without the technician, they cannot realize their design. Without the aid from the technician, is it really called a technician, or is it like, do they have a specific title?
Yeah, just
Really? Wow, okay. Without the aid of the technician, they can't see their design. This is a long one, sorry. They can't see their design come to fruition. Fruition is when you have a realization or a concept or an idea and you make it happen, or you make it real. Fruition is F-R-U-I-T-I, fruition, I-O-N, yeah. Fruition, yeah. I'll send it to you guys. It looks like fruition, fruit, and then I-O-N or something.
other from the fruit,
Huh?
the root of the word.
The root of the word. Yeah, it's like fruit, I-O-N. But it's pronounced fruition. And so fruition is basically when you have a concept and then you make it happen. Yeah. Really good word to use. I spelled it wrong on the Kakao chat. Ignore that one. So basically, whenever you have an idea, a business idea, and you want to see it happen, you want to see it come to fruition. And last, I feel weird this AI censored every post thing. This happens often that people overuse the word thing. You don't have to say it. So I feel weird about AI censoring every post or judging every post, right? Okay, and that's all.